Audubon, Arkansas, and Little Rock Audubon Center, here with another story. This time I'm sharing Bird, Butterfly, Eel, and the story and the illustrations are by James Prosek. So, Bird, Butterfly, Eel. It's summer on the farm, and Bird, Butterfly, and Eel are at home. So, Bird, Butterfly, and Eel. Butterfly is a monarch. She lives in the meadow behind the pond. You can see Butterfly here. You can see all the different milkweed plants. Eel lives in the dark, cool waters of the pond below the lilies. There's Eel down here. Bird lives in the barn at the end of the meadow, a nest she made of mud and straw. She loves being safe, high up in the rafters, away from the barn cats. You can see Bird up here with her nest. Butterfly is laying her eggs on the milkweed plants in the meadow. Soon the eggs hatch and become caterpillars. They eat the milkweed and get strong enough to spin chrysalises and become butterflies. See the butterfly, the monarch, laying the eggs on the milkweed. And then we start seeing the caterpillars eating the milkweed. And then they become a chrysalis, starting here, and there's the chrysalis on this side. Eel has lived in the pond for many years. She is eating insects and small fish and storing up energy for her long swimming journey. As you can see Eel, she's in the water and she's eating, storing up energy for her long journey of migration. Bird flies over the meadow, collecting insects to feed her babies in the barn. You see our bird? She's flying around and she's eating insects, collecting them for her young. As summer turns into fall, Bird's young have left the nest and are flying over the pond and meadow, singing the songs for Butterfly and Eel. Butterfly watches her young caterpillars turn into beautiful butterflies. Eel is full and strong and is ready for her long journey. So we've got our bird, our butterfly, and our eel. With the cool winds of autumn, bird, butterfly, and eel sense a change, feel restless, and know this means it is time to leave the farm. Bird gathers her babies and flies southwest over the barn, the meadow, the pond, and follows the coast. Butterfly takes to the southerly winds, heading down over land and sea. Eel swims downstream and out to the ocean. At one point in their long journey at the edge of the sea, bird, butterfly, and eel will meet one last time to say goodbye. There they see other animals on their own long journeys to very different places. Then all of the creatures, striped bass, false albacore, common tern, bay anchovy, osprey, fishermen, go their separate ways. All the different animals and even fishermen go in their separate ways on their own journeys. Bird will go 8,000 miles to the southern tip of Argentina to spend the winter in the golden meadows of Patagonia, which look very similar to the ones she left on the farm. Butterfly will glide to the mountains of central Mexico, 3,000 miles away, and spend the winter in forests with millions of other butterflies. There are so many butterflies, they blanket the trees. Eel will swim down the creek, connecting to the pond to the sea. From the coast, she'll travel 1,500 miles to the Sargasso Sea, an eddy in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. There's a map of the different journeys that the bird, butterfly, and eel take. It is warm and beautiful where bird, butterfly, and eel go. So you can see where they journeyed to. The bird, the butterfly, and the eel. Back on the farm, the barn and the meadow are covered in snow, and the pond begins to freeze. It is cold, and the animals that live there miss bird, butterfly, and eel. As winter turns into spring on the farm, bird flies home to her nest in the rafters of the barn where she was born. Butterfly makes a long journey north again as spring turns into summer, her young taking her place in the meadow as the flowers begin to bloom. And eel's young, small as toothpicks and clear as glass, swim up the creek to the pond. See a bird here? And then there's butterfly, and you can see all the young eels. And then there's bird in the rafters of her barn. And the cycle begins again. So every year the same migration journey, the same life cycle happens for bird, butterfly, and eel. Okay, that's the end of our stories. That was Bird, Butterfly, and Eel by James Prosek. Thank you so much.